But his plans for the area do not stop there. The healthcare service within Castries Southeast is expected to get a shot in the arm.
I wanted the doctor in Bexon Health Center because it can cater for Sarod, Bele, Wavin Poisson, Lacour, Badney, Forestier, all of these people. So on the regular days, you'd still have the doctor at the Tiroche Health Center, you'd still have at the Lacour Health Center and these different areas. But throughout the rest of the week, this doctor should be available in at least 1 or 2 health centers in the constituency so that people can go in there and know that these services are readily available.
Castries Southeast, like many other constituencies in St. Lucia, has been the recipient of what seems like a never-ending list of donations and grant funding from the government of Taiwan.
The court that was built in Badney, the entire court and the center was built with the Taiwanese aided funds. The computer lab in Forestier was built with the Taiwanese funds. One of the bridges, one of the 4 bridges that we've, let me see, 1, 2, 3. One of the 3 bridges that we built in Mac was built with the Taiwanese funds. In terms of, there's a road in Chopin, the entire road from cutting the road, putting in the drains, the asphalt, everything was done. A number of the footpaths that we have done is through these funds. Some of the houses that we have built, the majority of houses that we have built in the constituency, they have assisted computers that we have placed in the schools. We now have 5 interactive whiteboards that we have purchased with projectors and everything, one for each of the primary schools in Castries Southeast, which the Ministry of Education is now assisting with the installing of the technical expertise in the installing of these. We have free children playgrounds that we are in the process of mounting up. The lighting of the expansion of the court in Wavin Poisson, the lighting up of it is part of the Taiwanese funded project. There are so many of them that sometimes you forget all the things.
It begs 2 questions though. What would have happened had the Taiwanese not provided this massive injection in community-based projects? And secondly, is a parliamentary representative seeking funding from foreign governments because his own government is unable or unwilling to fund these projects?
There are always contending priorities in government, and so it makes it difficult. Something that I may place very high value on for my constituency, because of budget constraints and limited resources, we have to pick and choose and say, well, look here, you can have either this one or that one. You choose the one that you think is of greater value for you.
Joseph admits that at times he's frowned upon by residents who are unaware of the sacrifices which have to be made to attend to roadworks.
I could not have paved the road because these $5 million that we had to do emergency walls and things to just keep the road open could have been used otherwise to do a lot of projects in my constituency.
The rains of 2010 and 2011 exposed one major shortcoming in the Bexor Road network because of its vulnerability to flooding. So, it was only fitting that the MP search for an alternate route linking Chopin to Bexor to alleviate the traffic hazards which occur when the area floods.
That is one of the shortest routes you can use to bypass the entire Bexon Valley and find yourself all the way down by Hess. You have options. So this is definitely a road that I will rehabilitate in the next term in office.
The road from Babono to Forestier, which has been rendered impassable since Thomas, is also being rehabilitated and is expected to reopen shortly. The Bexor River caused incalculable damage to properties in Bexor and Mark during Thomas. The recovery efforts were further hampered by torrential rain shortly thereafter. In September 2011, Unusually heavy rains again exposed the area's vulnerability to flash flooding. The incumbent says he is not surprised that the opposition candidate is having a political feast with what he explains is an act of God. He took a moment to enlighten Mr. Mangal and to assure the residents of this low-lying area that the Bexar River has been desilted more than 12 times since the passage of Thomas, and flood mitigation works continue all along the river's course.
For those who say we have done nothing to mitigate against flooding in Bexar, it is clearly evident that they are not aware of what Bexar was like prior to Hurricane Thomas. This boulder packing and diversion of the river from the highway has assisted in reducing the flooding in this area. This area for decades have been flooding, and we have seen major improvements in the flow of water along the river in this particular area.